Welcome back to Margaritas in Paradise. Hey, check out that ocean. Just so beautiful out right now. I wanted to talk to you about self-control. Probably one of the most important things that you can have in Thailand. I think about when I first came to Thailand, I had to reevaluate my life. I had to set up goals, and what I ended up doing, setting up short-time goals and then long-time goals. Initially, my short-time goals was retiring here in Pattaya by the time I turned 58. And because of the pandemic, I was able to move that up a little bit and come here a little bit before I turned 58. Okay, but now I'm 60, so I'm here. But I met those short-term goals, all right? There's long-time goals as well that you need to keep focused on. And you don't want to fall into these traps. And that's what I'm going to talk about. And it's the lack of self-control. And a lot of people have it here. Here's one of the things that you have to think about when it comes to self-control and evaluating what your plans are, the goals that you're setting in front of you, the things that you're going to attain, and how you're going to improve your situation. One of the things that I had to look at is why I moved here. Was it for the nightlife? No. But that was probably a big thing, you know. In the USA, I was used to going out maybe once a month, maybe. I was tied down with a job, and I had responsibilities that just didn't allow me, whether it was financial or for whatever pyramid of reasons, I just couldn't do the things that I really wanted to do. Even though I was tremendously happy in the U.S., there's no doubt about it. But there's other things. It was kind of like relationships. You know, I was this middle-aged guy, probably older guy, whatever. And, you know, you had to think about what was available for me. I know there's tons and tons of women out there that are available. Don't get me wrong. But it comes down to maybe personal choices of what you like. I didn't really want necessarily somebody that was my own age. I wanted somebody maybe 20 years younger than me. Those are the things that you have to think about. Are you looking for a lifetime partner? A lot of guys aren't. You know, they come here and they decide they want to be single for a while. Maybe they didn't have the opportunity when they were young, or maybe they couldn't afford the opportunity when they were young, and they want to take part in that now before they're too old. When are you too old? I don't know. Of course, the financial stability. What can you afford in the country that you're from? For me, you know, I love being in Florida. I really do. But the places I wanted to live in Florida, I just couldn't afford. You know, I wanted to live in Naples or Key West for the same amount of money that I would spend in Key West for 1 month. I was spending in Thailand for the entire year. You know, it just didn't make sense for me to be in a place that I couldn't afford to be in. All right? Or I couldn't afford the lifestyle I wanted. The lifestyle you want versus the lifestyle you need, I don't know. You know, there's that wants and need balances going on. And how do you come up with a line in between right for you? And that's where self-evaluation comes into play. When I was in the U.S., you know, I had all these ideas in my head that once I retired from the military, and then I started up this small business that did very good. But I had the ideas that I was going to get in the best shape of my life and so on, you know, that type of stuff, and start doing things that I really wanted to do. I was so busy all the time that I failed to meet my plans, my goals. I came up short. Besides wanting to be physically fit, of course, with that in mind, I wanted to lose weight. There was all kinds of things, and that goes right back into self-control, you know. So it was my choice whether I ate that whole pizza or maybe 1 or 2 slices of pizza. Self-control, when it comes to that, you need to take charge, because you have to know where you're heading if you don't take charge. You have to take responsibility for your life. Short-time goals, where I wanted to be in, let's say, 10 years. And then I had long-time goals, financial, basically, permanent residence, and that I've traveled consistently throughout my retirement years, things like that, maybe learning a language. Those were long time goals. Let's say 20 years from now, what have I accomplished? If you've been here for 5 years, what have you accomplished in the last 5 years? I don't know. Some of you guys, I know what's going to be on that list. There's not going to be much on it besides alcohol and maybe some girls, because a lot of guys don't have any self-control, and that's something that you have to take charge of in your life. If you're coming to Thailand or any of these other countries, you have to take control of your life. You are responsible. If you don't take care of yourself, nobody else will. And one of the forefront things that people come here for, of course, and I've talked about this before, is the nightlife. And number two, the girls. Because of the sheer number of companions here in Thailand that are looking for potential partners, but you have to control yourself. I know guys that they have no interest whatsoever in having a relationship. Their relationship is what they did last Friday night, and then what they did on Saturday night, and then maybe what they did on Sunday. And it may be different people every night. Now, is that a relationship? Probably not. But in their head, it may be. And when you get to that point in your life, and I was there at one point. When you get to that point in your life, you have no self-control. If you self-evaluate yourself, kind of keep track of what you've been doing in the last 6 months or so, and it has involved multiple partners and not being responsible for any of your actions, I'm telling you, you're out of self-control, okay? And you're doing things that probably are not going to benefit you in the long run. One of the big items as far as self-control is concerned is staying on budget. If you only have a certain amount of money, if you're on a pension and you get the same amount every month, the exact same amount, okay, you know, if you get, like me, my pension comes on the first day of the month. That has to last me all the way until the end of the month. So I have to stay on budget. There's only so much money I can spend every week. And that includes all the incidentals that you don't really plan, you know, get a cold and have to buy some medicines or something like that, or a registration's due on your motorbike. Or it could be many things. When you have a budget like that, you have to plan for the things that just come up. You have to have an emergency stash available, but still be able to make it throughout the entire month. I know guys here, they get it on the 1st, and by the 4th or 5th of the month, it's all gone. Now they have 3 weeks left in the month, and they're broke because the first few days of the month, they went crazy and just spent their entire budget. Now, when people do that, what ends up happening next? They start dipping into their emergency fund. Now, I've talked about this in the past. You need an emergency fund here. You know, if you have this horrible toothache or something like that, and you have to go to the dentist, even though dental care here is very cheap, let's say it's going to cost you $1,000, 35,000 baht or something like that. Okay. And you don't just have that in your budget. You need an emergency fund to take care of things like that. And it could be even worse. It could be something medical, or you may have to, maybe you had a motorbike accident and you have to fix your motorbike. There could be all kinds of things. So you definitely have to have this emergency fund. But you can't be dipping into that emergency fund. You have to have self-control to take care of that. You have to plan ahead. You have to stay on budget. That's just fact. If you're broke at the end of the month, then you're living off budget, and you need to reevaluate. Once you get to know people here in Thailand, and that doesn't mean just Thais in general. It could be anybody across the board. When you're getting towards the end of the month and the beginning of the month, I constantly get people asking me to borrow money. I just got in the habit of saying, I would rather remain friends with you and let you be unhappy that I can't afford to loan you the money than me be unhappy because you can't afford to pay me back. So that's my policy. You do whatever you want to do, but If you want to stay on budget, and if you're close every month with your budget, you can't be loaning money out. I'm kind of weighing, teeter-tottering back and forth about possibly going and enrolling into a Thai language course. Let me know what you think I should do. Should I buy a book and some type of software or something and try to learn it myself, or should I put a plan in place, stick to that plan, go to a class? I'm thinking about that right now, and you should be too, okay? How are you going to better yourself? If you're bored, if you come here and you find that you don't have anything else to do, go learn a language, or take a class in cooking. If you have any other ideas what you can do to better yourself, make sure you put it in the description below. Also, please, I'm so close to 5,000 subscribers right now. Make sure you give me a thumbs up, that you're hitting that subscribe button, hit that little bell for future notifications of videos. Really appreciate everybody that has subscribed. And one of the big things that I always looked at is when I came here, because of my central location to Asia and the other side of the world, I knew that I wanted to travel. So this year, how many places have you traveled to? To me, I want to go someplace at least every year, but travel's a big deal. Where have you been lately? Did you take that trip to Vietnam or Cambodia? Those are things that put in goals, okay? And you have to stay focused, stay on track. And you know, if I was you, I would literally write down these goals so they're always looking at you in the face, that you know what your plans are. You need to meet your goals. If you don't meet your goals, you're not going to be satisfied. You're going to fail. You don't want to be a failure in your life. You want to succeed. You want to be happy. And what's going to ensure you do that? Self-control. Self-control. I can remember the very first time I came to Thailand after I retired. I had all these visions in my head. I'd been listening to every forum back then, and I can remember that when I landed in the airport, and these visions that were going through my head. I mean, I couldn't wait to get down here, and it was like midnight or something like that. But I needed to be in Pattaya right now. And when I did arrive, you know, it was like walking into a candy store. Everything was right in front of me, and it was unbelievable. And I enjoyed it, and I just had a great time. I learned right away that I needed to control, you know, things like the amount of alcohol I was drinking. If I was going to go out drinking every night, that wasn't going to work. Okay, it was one thing for me to be there on holiday, having a few nights of wildness and that sort of thing. I knew that if I was going to come here and live in Thailand, in Pattaya, that there was zero chance that I could go out every night. And there was, even worse, there was zero chance I could be drinking every night. Even to this day, sometimes I take a month off of drinking. You definitely have to take control of things like that. You need to be able to control your lust, okay? And that's a big problem for a lot of people. While you're here in Thailand, you have to determine how you're going to survive, okay? Does that make sense? Yeah. I mean, you really do, you know. And with that, I was talking about this earlier on in the video. You know, you have to set up short-term goals. You have to set up long-term goals. And you have to follow through on those goals. When it comes to a relationship, what are you here for? You know, do you want to be with anybody, number one? And number two, are you seeking a partner, a romance, or whatever? Or are you just here to do the butterfly thing, as they call it, and see a different woman every night? And there's lots of people that are here for that. I'm not saying anything's wrong with either one of those. You have to decide, and things can change. But the primary objective needs to stay in front of you. It has to be a focal point that you're driving to succeed, because you want to be happy in your life. You don't want to be worrying about not doing the right thing. And what's the right thing? That's in here for you, okay? Don't let other people's judgments determine whether you're a good guy or a bad guy. There's all kinds of people out there in the moral minority of the world that are going to say just you being in Pattaya, it makes you a bad guy. And Pattaya is not for everybody, that's for sure, or Thailand's not for everybody. But it is for a lot of people, and that's proof fact of the number of people that live here right now. A couple things for you to think about. You have to make notes of what are the things happening here that make you do the things that you do. What do you like seeing? And you have to figure that out, and you have to make sure that you put yourself in a position to fulfill those dreams, those goals, those focal points, the passion that's in your heart for being where you want to be. And I don't know if you can tell or not, but I have a deep passion in the Pattaya area here. I love it here. I'm constantly busy. All my friends think I'm too busy. But that's what kind of keeps me going. I feel like it's keeping me healthy, and it's making me move forward towards the things that I want to do. Or I want to finish up by encouraging you to take control of your life. Okay, maybe if you've lost control of your life, take back your life. When you do take back your life, you have to determine what it'll take for you to be able to maintain goals that you've set in front of you. What's going to make it worth your time? Be the person that you want to be. You have to determine what's achievable and move towards those goals. You're going to be able to push your limits. There's no doubt about that. I was talking in another video talking about safety. I was around when safety became the thing. And I'm not trying to tell anybody to be unsafe by any means, but I always hated all these safety standards that were in place. And they're there to protect me, I know that. But I always kind of felt like you have to take chances in your life. You want to take action and control your destiny. Don't let the train hit you if you can get out of the way. Go after goals that are achievable, okay? Stay focused, stay on track. I would even go as far to say, have a reward for that goal. My budget, I want at the end of the year, I want to save $1,000. To have enough money at the end of the month that I'm actually saving money throughout the month for the end of the year goal. If I save that money at the end of the year, maybe I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to take half that money and buy me something that I really want. And you know the difference between wants and needs. There's lots of things I want, but there's only a certain amount of things that I need. If you're going to stay on budget, that's the way you have to live life. You have to go after your needs and kind of stay away from your wants. But anyway, reward yourself for meeting that goal. Make sure that you give me a big thumbs up, that you're hitting that subscribe button. Hit that bell right next to it for future notifications. If you see me on the streets, I want to meet you. Okay, so if you see me in a bar or a restaurant or whatever, come on over, let's shake hands, maybe take a selfie, and I want to hear from you. And if you have any suggestions what I can do better, make sure you tell me that too. But I want to put out a special shout out to Nelson. Okay, I met him over at the Basilic Bar over in Treetown area. And it was good to meet him, and I'll try to put a picture up. Let's see here. Maybe it's going to go over here. And a shout out to Roger. He bought me 2 cups of coffee. So you see that link, you want to buy me a cup of coffee. Thank you, Roger, so much. Steve from the USA. I met him at Leo's. Hey, Steve. Hope to see you out there again. Tristan and Ray at the Candy Club. I'll put a link in there for the Candy Club as well. I just met Michael and Dadia. They're from Russia, and I met them at For You Massage, Cat's massage place on Knockhill Road. Darius from England, London, England, and I met him at the Joy Bar, and that's another place over in Treetown. Peter from Germany. Can you imagine there's a guy named Peter in Germany? Met him, of course, at Heidelberg Restaurant, but he came up, he's a subscriber and a viewer, and told me, well, anyway, it was good to talk to him, and again, if you have the time, I have the time. So definitely come up, say hi, let's shake hands, become friends. That's all I have for you right now. Hope you have a great day. Take charge of your life. Take your life back. Get some self-control and have fun. Live the life you deserve to live. All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.